Joe Biden and his appointment, Mayorkas, are lying to you. They're compromising your country. Mayorkas is up for impeachment, and Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House, is holding him to account in this press conference. Watch this. We're here to defend America from an invasion. They call it an invasion here. Yeah, ooh, bad word. It's an invasion. There's actually military people coming up through the southern border. That's an invasion.
There is an inescapable fact that all the American people know, everybody, it doesn't matter what political party you're in. Joe Biden and his administration have created a catastrophe on the border. Everybody knows it. The American people are demanding that we do something about it. We're trying. As you all well know, many months ago, the House Republican majority passed H.R. 2. That's our Secure the Border Act, which has all the necessary provisions to get this catastrophe under control. Why did we pass the legislation? We passed it because the president has refused to use his executive authority to reverse the catastrophe that he used his executive authority to create. That's the fact. We're desperate to try to get this done. We've been trying for 9 months, longer, to reverse the damage that they've done. The president has refused to act.
It took them 3 years just to convince the president that there was a border crisis. Think of all of the press conferences we've done with Karine Jean-Pierre, who is also a liar, where they flat out said, is there a crisis at the border? They said the border's secure. They had all these congressional oversight committees bring in Mayorkas. There's a crisis at the border. He'd go, the border's secure. These people, you voted for them, and they're lying to you. So do not vote for them again. They will lie to you again, and they will open the border and allow every person in the world to come in and take your property, commit crimes, and they will not be prosecuted, and they'll make you pay for their benefits. That's what they're here to do.
Homeland Security Committee will take the next necessary step that's available to us, marking up and passing articles of impeachment for Secretary Mayorkas. He has presided over and helped usher in the largest illegal immigration catastrophe in our nation's history. It's not even close. Again, this is a self-evident truth that everyone knows. He has willfully undermined America's laws. He's made false statements to Congress and the American people. He made false statements to me personally in the Judiciary Committee many months ago. And he has handicapped law enforcement.
That's Mike Johnson calling Mayorkas a liar. He goes, he made false statements to me personally. There's another word for that. A liar. Mayorkas is a liar.
Just last week, we received word that more than 302,000 illegal immigrants crossed our border in December alone. 302,000 in 1 month. It continues. But you know, that barely made headlines. Why? Because that's the new normal under Secretary Mayorkas' lack of leadership.
The 300,000 border crossings last month didn't make headlines, not because it's the new normal. He's wrong on that. It's because the press is lying to you in a massive cover-up. I don't know if you guys knew this, but in general, if you show the border and the people suffering down there, the video gets tamped down because they don't like showing human suffering. Just by its nature, we can't show you this stuff. No one wants you to know. The last thing they want you to have is an informed vote where you can look around and go, really, how many numbers, how many people, what's it costing? Where are they? Where are they going? How much fentanyl are they carrying on them? How many children are coming over 85,000, by the way? How many children are coming over and disappearing into the system without a parent? They don't want you to know. They think you're stupid, and they think you'll do it again. If they can just get Taylor Swift to dance for you again. This is to the young voters. They think you're dumb. Don't turn your country over to every other country in the world.
And it is the result of a collection of deliberate policy choices by the Secretary and this administration. In fact, we've documented over 64 specific actions that the President and his administration have taken to undermine America's border security, starting within hours of President Biden's inauguration. Normally, presidents, as you know, use their first few days in office to set the tone for their entire term. He did that. On his first day, President Biden effectively dissolved our borders, And Secretary Mayorkas rolled out a welcome mat to millions and millions of illegal immigrants. And that's what we've seen for the past 3 years.
Again, they think that because they own the media that they can just control the narrative. Democrats think that they can actually hide 300,000 people coming over the borders. It ends up being a number they're estimating at close to 22 to 33 million is where we're at. Of course, you can't know because they disappear. They're not evil either. I'm not accusing anyone of anything. I'm only saying they broke the law. It's illegal. They shouldn't be here. We would never be able to do the same thing. Next time, don't pay your taxes and just go to the government and go, hey, you know what I do with my taxes? The same thing you did with the border. They do. You're going to jail.
It was just 4 months into his term as the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security that Mr. Mayorkas appeared before us and the Judiciary Committee. And I told him on that day in a clip that many people have seen that he needed to prepare his resume because it became immediately apparent to us that he was not doing his job. In fact, he was undermining the very system that he was supposed to administer. Now the president, this is laughable. The president is trying to flip the script. He wants to try to blame House Republicans in some way for the national security and humanitarian catastrophes that he caused.
Yeah, and we have a clip of Biden doing the brainwashing on you. Of course, there's a jet engine over his mouth, so you can barely hear what he says. It's not even that important because everything he says is a complete lie that only a stupid person would believe, or someone on board with his agenda to take over America with every other country and punish you and eventually call you mean, imprison you for being a xenophobe if you oppose it. Here's Biden. Good luck.
Have you done everything you can do with executive authority? Or is there more you could do absent
I've done all I can do. Give me the power. I've asked for the very day I got in office. Give me the border patrol. Give me the people, the judges. Give me the people who can stop this and make it work for us.
Give me the border patrol. Just give me the power. I'm helpless. Yeah, he'll do presidential orders to forgive student loans, but he acts like he can't do anything about the border. Mike Johnson called out 64 points that he could have done or that he reversed on the Trump policy. And I don't think they're going to change. Why should they? If you're dumb enough to put them in office again, they really think the American people are that dumb. Maybe half of us are, but a majority of us aren't.
I can't make a full judgment on the National Security Supplemental as the full details have not yet been released. But based on the news reports of this agreement that have been leaked, that Secretary Mayorkas, by the way, helped negotiate, it seems the new authority to shut down the border would kick in only after as many as 5,000 illegal crossings happen each day. Why? Why would we do that? Illegal immigration is illegal. It is against the law. Why would you tolerate 5,000 a day before you sought to suddenly enforce the law? That would be surrender. The goal should be 0 illegal crossings a day, not 5,000. And all the president's authority should be utilized at 0.
This is about this fraud bill they're trying to pass. They've been working on. This is behind the scenes, dark room, Mitch McConnell, Chuck Schumer stuff. They won't release the details. The only details we've had were leaked. They won't let Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, read it. They don't want you to read it. They don't want you to know. They want to find a way to shuffle and hide and BS behind the scenes.
In its modern history, the U.S. has never suffered an invasion of the homeland, and yet one is unfolding now. Military-aged men from across the globe, many from countries or regions not friendly to the United States, are landing in waves on our soil by the thousands, not by splashing ashore from a ship or parachuting from a plane, but rather by foot across a border that has been accurately advertised around the world as largely unprotected with ready access granted. It will be difficult to overstate the danger represented by the presence inside our borders of what is comparatively a multi-division army of young single adult males from hostile nations and regions whose background, intent, or allegiance is completely unknown. They include individuals encountered by border officials and then possibly released into the country, along with a shockingly high estimate of gotaways, meaning those who have entered and evaded apprehension. I'll read you just a few more lines. The country possesses dramatically diminished national security at this time because of this invasion, as our former FBI and intel officials said. They said, we would be remiss not to call out this potentially grave threat in most direct terms. The warning lights are blinking. Any violation of the nation's immigration laws increases risk, but the surge in numbers of single military-aged males descending upon American cities and towns is alarming and perilous. Additionally, they are not from terror-linked regions. They are not just from terror-linked regions, but from China and Russia as well. Hostile adversaries of the U.S. with aspirations to devastate national infrastructure. Last line, I'll quote them. The country has been invaded, an invasion that will continue as long as the nation's enemies perceive it will be tolerated. And it's signed by all these former officials of the FBI and intelligence.
Remember when the Hunter Biden laptop came up during the debate, and Biden said, we have 51 former FBI experts that say it's Russian disinformation. They were, of course, lying. But now the same experts, Mike Johnson, brings out a list of FBI experts that say, no, these people are militarized, military-aged men coming up through the border. And now watch, all the media is going to go, well, they don't, tell us what we want. So now this is going to go back to probably Russia disinformation, they're going to say, or something. Who knows what? They'll make up some dumb lie. They just know they've got the media to cover all this. They'll just bury all of the truth so you can't make a proper decision.
We have an unmitigated crisis. The president can take executive authority immediately, and he's pretending as though he does not know that. It's outrageous.
Biden could fix it right now, but he's too busy blaming the other side, being a completely ineffectual president, basically decomposing right on the spot. And now the press is able to ask Mike Johnson a question. Remember, they're just going to keep saying, Trump's a racist. Trump's a racist. Trump's xenophobic if you want us to fix the border. That's all that they've got. Here's the press asking Mike Johnson a question.
Given what you know about what Senate Republicans are negotiating regarding the border, is that a non-starter for Republicans in the House?
Well, we haven't seen any bill text yet. We've been waiting, I think, 2 months now on that. It's hard to make a judgment about something you haven't seen. All we know is the reports and rumors, I suppose, that have been leaked. I hope some of this is not true. But from what we've seen, clearly, what's been suggested is in this bill is not enough to secure the border. And we have to insist. We have a responsibility, a duty to the American people to insist that the border catastrophe is ended. And just trying to whitewash that or do something for political purposes that it appears that may be is not going to cut it. And that's a non-starter in the House.
Yeah, we're not allowed to see this deal. But the deal started with some of the details that leaked about it was that they were allowed to have 5,000 illegals come in a day before it triggered any stopping of people coming over the border. So that's the non-starter. Marjorie Taylor Greene's going 0. Mike Johnson here is going 0. That's a border hawk, by the way. A lot of people have come after Mike for being weak on the border. They're wrong.
Mr. Speaker, the former president has made it clear that he doesn't want you guys to move forward on this. And judging by his comments, he clearly wants to campaign on this issue. Have you spoken to him about the Senate proposal, and are you simply trying to kill this to help him out in the campaign?
No, Manu, that's absurd. We have a responsibility here to do our duty. Our duty is to do right by the American people, to protect the people. The first and most important job of the federal government is to protect its citizens. We're not doing that under President Biden. We have only a tiny, as you know, razor thin, actually a 1-vote majority right now in the House. Our majority is small. We only have it in one chamber, but we're trying to use every ounce of leverage that we have to make sure that this issue is addressed. I have talked to former President Trump about this issue at length, and he understands that. He understands that we have a responsibility to do here. The president, of course, President Trump, wants to secure the country. President Trump is the one that talked about border security before anyone else did. He ran on, as you remember, building the wall. Why? Because he saw this catastrophe coming. He knew that if we did not get control of it, we would be in this situation. And that's why President Trump took executive actions. He used his executive authority to get that system under control. President Biden came in reflexively and did exactly the opposite, and that is what has caused this crisis. It is well documented. I'm happy to share with you all, if you haven't seen it yet, our documentation of the 64 actions they've taken. At least half of those, more than half, could be immediately reversed with the stroke of a pen. And Joe Biden refuses to do it, and it is outrageous to us. Yes.
This is more swirl the press created. They're more upset that what Trump said, I don't want the border to be fixed. I'm going to win on this. And you know how Trump talks. He didn't mean it, of course, but the press, they're more angry about what Trump said. That he goes, I don't want them to fix the border. They're more angry about that than that they're losing their country. That there's more people die of fentanyl overdoses every year than died in the entire Vietnam War. That's what the press does not care. Look, they just want Biden in, and they're willing to open the borders. And that goes for all these liberals like Charlemagne de God and all these people. Joy Reid, you're going to start another effing war, and all these people. You're not going to change your vote. You're not going to change your vote. So enjoy your war. Enjoy your invasion. Enjoy your massive fentanyl overdoses. Enjoy all of it. You voted for it. So I'm here to say, change your vote and join us over here in Exile. The water's fine. I'm Doug in Exile.